Greetings and salutations, folks, and welcome back to Death Stranding, where last time I said goodnight, but that was just a ruse, a lie I fabricated to make it seem like I actually went somewhere, but I did not. I stayed exactly where I was and resumed the game. Because why would I stop right there?
There you are.
Also, if Amelie is not my sister, maybe that explains why she's always wearing the same dress. But then everybody wears the same clothes all the time anyway, so... Did I emerge onto Amelie's beach as a baby?
You want to go home? Let's go home. It's okay. I know the way.
This is an unexpected turn of events. I was not expecting to become a baby, who is then dropped into the water. This is a very curious turn of events. Okay, I was not turned into a baby, that was just a dream? Also, Amelie, your beach has seen better days. Here we go. Has Amelie become the moon presence? Is this game just full bloodborning it now? I must stop the moon presence from destroying the world. You know, I keep tapping the R1 button expecting something to happen. Huh. Maybe that's not the way. Because that whole beach off to the right looks like it just goes on forever. Oh, nope. No map. And I still have a stamina bar. Oh, no. I was supposed to, I guess, keep running until I stopped.
Falling down. Falling down. London Bridge is falling down. My fair lady.
Oh, is this a new outfit?
The last stranding has already begun.
Nope, that is Bridget.
Amelie?
You're too late. What took you so long?
Your voice.
You still don't know who I am, do you?
Who are you?
Sam. I knew you'd come back. Sam, listen to me.
So why is she appearing as Bridget with the mask?
I love you, Sam.
I'll be waiting for you on the beach.
Or was there no difference at all? Was Bridget
Been waiting
always
for you.
Amelie?
Right here, ever since. You were supposed to stop me. Stop all of this.
Bridget?
Yes. It's me, Sam.
I honestly don't remember
Where's
what
Emily?
him and Bridget talked
Where
about
she's
other
always
than
been.
reconnecting America.
Nowhere. My daughter, Samantha America Strand, doesn't exist.
Emily doesn't exist.
Not in your world. I'm sorry, Sam. I've had to wear a mask for so long. Amelie and Bridget are both a part of me.
What's this supposed to mean?
Quiet, and I'll tell you. There is no time for questions. Listen.
Okay, but is there time for
Just
answers?
listen.
Okay, you got me.
Do you understand, Sam? Amelie and Bridget. Those are just names. What I am is an extinction entity. So, knowing what you know now, you have two choices.
Was getting shot one of them.
You wouldn't come back if it happened here, you know. You'd be straight on to the afterlife. But no. It's not one of them. Killing you would be a terrible mistake. I
So,
know that better than anyone.
what is the extinction entity? Who are Sam's parents? If
The last stranding has already begun.
it's already
A
begun.
seam has formed from my beach and the beaches of every soul in America. And soon it will be inundated by a vast surge of antimatter starting here. In a flash, this world will be no more. Consumed by an explosion. A big bang. So, that brings us to your first choice. Do nothing. Stay here with me and bear witness to the very end.
So basically the ending of Fight Club.
Together. With me. Until the last flame winks out.
But essentially undo everything I've built. Undo every connection that we've made.
There's long left anyway.
We've already discussed this. Hundreds of thousands of years. That is a long time. We can do a lot of
Here's the
things in
second
that
choice.
time.
In expanding the network, you brought people and their beaches together, integrating them into a greater whole. Like this Kipu. But in doing so, you also bound them to my beach. The very beach where I opened the gates to the other side. You can't stop what's coming. But if you cut me and my beach loose, perhaps you can stop it from spreading. You might just prevent the last stranding. And mankind will live to die another day.
Now, question.
It doesn't have to end here.
Is there a third choice?
The beach is doomed no matter what. One look ought to tell you that. Which is why we must sever our connection.
That'll be it. The end of the Death Stranding.
I'm somewhat tempted to see if there is a third choice.
Can't stop the inevitable. The sixth extinction will happen either today or tomorrow. You can either end it with dignity, quick, clean, and in a flash, or you can struggle in vain, knowing full well what's waiting come the finish. Those are your choices. You kept it all this time. Perhaps you still have a chance to stop this nightmare. You brought the world together. You have the right to decide. Pull the rope or cut the noose. But whatever you do, don't hesitate. I'm ready, Sam Strand. Make your choice.
But wait. I don't know what to do.
Sure you do. After everything, how could you not?
Okay. Okay, so I looked up the various choices because to see just what choices I would have. And I suppose it makes sense that you wouldn't shoot her. Because after all that you've been through in this game, like, violence has never been the answer. Like, this game has always encouraged non-lethality. Or maybe I just screwed everything up by reading the choices wrong.
I'm ready, Sam Strand. Make your choice.
But wait. I don't know what to do.
Sure you do. After everything, how could you not?
That was not what I expected to happen.
I'm here for you. Always. Like you were for me.
Huh.
Here. It's a dream catcher. Wear it
So
when you
then-
sleep, and I'll keep the nightmares away.
The question that becomes,
I'll
like,
always be
did he just happen to accidentally find the dream,
When you
find,
wake
the extinction entity? Or did the extinction entity just
And when
happen
the
to
time
find
comes,
him on his
You'll have to
beach?
stop me. You are the only one who can. Promise you'll remember. Sam, I'll be waiting for you on the beach.
Yeah, Sam didn't do a very good job remembering that.
I remember. You knew. You always knew.
I did and I didn't. I had so many dreams of the future. I didn't know which ones to trust. Which is why I decided to share them with you and the others. But to connect the dots, to make sense of everything, you need perspective. You need time. Time has no meaning to me. I am not a line. I am a single point. Which is why all I could do was just show you the choices and let you decide.
Our nightmares are your dreams.
You found the common thread, the strand that links them together. And you did that the only way possible. To live life one day at a time. Thank you, Sam.
I don't know, I'm worried that Kojima's gonna be sued for their Crytek engine. But, yeah,
I
that's...
would help you here,
I'm trying to add levity. Sorry.
but it still has a role to play. It was the bonds between people that brought the world together. And if that is what matters most to you, then I will stay here on this beach. And I will shut myself in and the rest of you out.
Shut yourself in. Come on.
Once the last stranding starts, it can't be stopped. I can't go with you. All I can do is try to spare you the worst.
Why do you have to stay on the beach?
Sam, I am the beach. And I must stay here and ensure that the extinction happens. Even if it takes tens or hundreds of thousands of years.
Alone?
That's what an EE does.
Duh. Porter delivers, and an extension
My job.
entity just
None of this would have happened.
stands around and waits for the extinction.
I couldn't take it anymore. I got so tired of waiting, and I figured that no one would blame me if I just got it all over with. So, that's what I did.
Sounds like hell.
Although that creates an interesting storyline, the idea that this kind of immortal entity
Together, connected.
being so disconnected from everything in its isolation went mad. Kind of like Higgs in a fashion.
Life rebelled. They fought back. Evolved in order to survive. The extinction isn't just an ending.
Okay, so I actually might
It's
be...
an opportunity.
I might have been correct in the idea that she was there. She is the immortal extinction entity. That she's always been the extinction entity.
To be the sacrifice. Then so be it. Even if we aren't together, we will always be connected.
Okay, so the story is going in a strange direction, but the visuals are fantastic. Like, the story is kind of taking an interpretive dance. Ah, Sam, feeling blue? And then there's his old family photo. His wife faded away due to timefall. Sail away, creepy doll. Never return to my home.
Help you here. But it still has a role to play.
Although, to be fair, I suppose I need to say once again, like, this is what I wanted from a Kojima game. I wanted something different. Like, after playing so many Metal Gears, like, the last thing that we needed was another Metal Gear in which you have to fight against 6 different themed bosses. Like, I know Metal Gear Solid 3 gets a lot of love, but the bosses, like, not all the bosses in the game are equal. The end is interesting as a gameplay aspect, but the rage is just covered in bees. He's just covered in bees. The Beauty and Beast Battalion of Metal Gear Solid 4. Like, everything, like, Metal Gear Solid 1 kind of set up the foundation of the themed bad guys. With Psycho Mantis, the Raven, Sniper Wolf, Liquid Snake. But, like, I feel like every other Metal Gear game up until Phantom Pain was just chasing those ambitions. Like, Metal Gear Solid 2 had the roller skating guy, and Metal Gear Solid 3 had the guy with the bees, and Metal Gear Solid 4 had the Beauty and the Beast Battalion, and then Metal Gear Solid 5 had Skullface. So, like, having a game in which your foes are metaphorical as much as they are physical, like, this is what I wanted from a Kojima-based game. This is this weird-ass storyline with somebody saying, Sam, I am the beach, is exactly what I wanted. The gameplay does get frustrating at times. And
Quiet, and I'll tell you. There is no time for questions. When you were young, you used to have bad dreams. You cried about them all the time. The truth is, those weren't your dreams. They were mine. For as long as I can remember, I've dreamt of the beach. Not just while sleeping, in my waking hours, too.
also, that sounds awful, to not just have nightmares, but to have somebody else's nightmares.
Countless past extinctions that decimated life on this planet. Again, and again, and again. At first, I didn't understand what I was seeing or why.
Oh, okay. So that's why all of the porters, the
There
repatriates,
were other, more terrible dreams.
they were mentioned how, like, they were having constant nightmares of the world ending. When the fossil guy
And I would
was
always be
contaminated with chiral energy,
to bring about the last
he had nightmares about the world ending. But he was not... Like, that wasn't a shared vision between porters. That was a shared nightmare from the extinction entity. So yeah, the gameplay itself can be frustrating at times. And I feel part of it is actually my own faults. Consider this. What if I didn't play this game as an objective-based system? Like, games in general have become very much objective-based systems. Think about the waypoint and how the waypoint works. Like, waypoints have become so... what's the phrase that I'm looking for? Ubiquitous? So commonplace that, like, you have games like Stanley Parable that make commentary about waypoints. You have BioShock, a game which has a plot twist that plays off of waypoints. Like, waypoints have become so consistent amongst video games. Objectives have become so consistent amongst video games that, like, the desire for progress and the desire to complete objectives has kind of become one and the same. When you can also consider the idea that making connections is itself progress, even though it's not necessarily listed as a main objective. I could have been spending more of my time making those connections. I could have spent more of my time climbing up mountains, setting watchtowers. I didn't need the game to tell me that. So,
The first operation.
perhaps...
I was only 20.
So Bridget was essentially the...
Found myself on the beach.
So essentially we're seeing the history of Bridget, and how she discovered that she was the extinction entity.
Back in the hospital bed. I was split across two worlds. Bridget, my Ha in that one. Amelie, my Ka in this. Somehow, the two of us managed to coexist. Soon, our ages began to diverge. Bridget's body got older, while the beach kept Amelie's the same. So I came up with a story. I told people that Amelie was my daughter. A daughter with a debilitating condition and an absent father. Look. Amelie.
Oh
is
my
French for
gosh.
soul.
What is... Oh. Never mind. I retract everything I just said about Kojima.
Soul, that's a lie.
Oh.
There was no Amelie. Only me and the beach. I thought it was a curse in the beginning.
No, I take that back
Later,
again.
I started thinking, maybe I can use this. I tried to find out more about the beach. Because understanding the beach had to be the key to interpreting my visions of the future.
Probably also to understanding who she is. Also, why are we dividing this by end credits? I mean, it's an interesting idea. But here, okay, so because I've become so objective focused, I didn't consider necessarily the idea of exploration, of setting out watchtowers. Like, I had treated this game much like any other game with objectives, with waypoints. You go from point A to point B. And to be fair, you can argue that maybe I'm not necessarily entirely to blame for that, because that is essentially the gameplay loop. It is the delivery expectation. Nobody's saying, hey, you're not a delivery man. You shouldn't be going from point A to point B. But this is a game that gives you a lot of means to explore. And just going from point A to point B doesn't necessarily create a situation in which you are exploring, in which you are constructing. It simply creates a situation in which you find that most efficient path. Now, let's say I was to start this game over. What would I do differently if I hit new game? If I finished this game and started a fresh story. One, I would probably skip the cutscenes. I've already seen them. Two, I'd probably start making, completing out deliveries between just the standard deliveries. Raise people's ratings to 5-star. And then 3, start putting down more watchtowers. Use that chiral bandwidth. Put some bridges. Maybe not bridges, maybe just ladders.
The world of the dead, which meant that somewhere out beyond it were the memories of time itself, including those of every organism that had ever lived. 4.6 billion years of biological history, a history that might even stretch back to the creation of the universe. The chiral network and everything that followed was born from my pursuit of that knowledge. By passing data through the beach, we were unbound by the restrictions of time. Simulations that would have taken years or more were simple and effortless. Everything that the Earth had lost and forgotten could be reconstructed and reclaimed. But shortly after we began our research, America saw its first void out. I thought I was running out of time, that my nightmares were becoming a reality. So I raced to complete the chiral network as quickly as possible. The past held all the answers. If only I could find a way to piece them together. A network that bridged our world and the beach. That might do it, I believed. So I started researching bridge babies, children bound to the world of the dead. What causes an extinction entity to come into being? What was the
That is
reason
an
for
excellent
these
question.
high mass extinctions?
That's another
Answers
question.
to those questions would tell me how to stop the 6th.
Did you answer
I
those
found
questions?
Bridges, more determined than ever to build a chiral network that would cover all of America. But the longer I fought my war against the inevitable, the weaker I became.
Because her
My
physical
mother
body...
had cancer. The
Okay,
beaches
I admit
punished
I
me.
still don't necessarily understand
I'm
ha
playing
and ka.
along like a good little EE. And then, just like that, my Ha was gone.
So the Ha is the
I
body
couldn't
and the
finish
Ka
what
is
I
the
started.
soul?
So, I asked you to do it for me. And you did. You helped us complete the network. Helped us to reclaim everything the universe experienced from its inception to this moment.
And you only needed to complete the
Every
network in
mystery
America.
was ours to solve,
That's all.
like this one.
You don't even need to rebuild
Once
Canada
there was an explosion.
or Mexico
A big bang
or
that gave
any of
birth
the
to
other
time and
continents.
space. Thing is, it
Once there was an explosion.
all that matter and antimatter should have canceled itself out, leaving nothing. But somehow a tiny speck of matter survived. Just enough.
And that was all that needed.
Enough to make this world and everything in it.
All it took was a
world
tiny
that
speck.
shouldn't be, a world
And
out
that's
of
all
balance.
that matters.
Order inevitably gives way to chaos. Everything that lives must inevitably die. It's like the universe is trying to return us to the nothing we came from. Maybe the Big Five were its best attempts to finish us off.
So you don't have answers.
But somehow, life always managed to survive just enough. Enough to thumb its nose at the will of the cosmos. You know,
Also,
I'm starting
hold
to
on.
think that
Are we kind of
extinction might be the key to overcoming total annihilation. It forces life to fight to survive, to endure.
Are
to
Lockney
exist.
and Mama actually sisters?
That's
Or
why the
are
Big
they
Five
similar
wants
to
rekindle
Bridget and
life
Amelie?
instead of extinguishing
Just a separate body and soul.
From the ashes of the dead rise the living.
And they had that
Stronger
connection not
and
because they were
wiser.
twins,
Inheritors
but because
of
they were the
legacy
same
that
person.
exists itself. They defy the universe and refuse to surrender. They say, we're just getting started. Extinction is an opportunity.
An opportunity for amazing gameplay design, levels, exploration. That is what is an opportunity for. So yeah, where did I leave off? So I suppose the game could have benefited from, at the very least, a warning that lets you know that, hey, you're leaving Port Knot City, you will not have easy access to this area before you head on out. But like, consider it this way. Like, you look at other games. Like, let's say, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, for instance. Assassin's Creed Odyssey has a main quest to complete. But it also has, like, side quests. It also has areas that aren't really connected to quests, but have stuff that can be completed out. And as you discover them on the map, you scroll over their icons, and it tells you what you have left to do in a specific situation, in a specific area. It's very easy. There's a lot of quality of life where it comes to just determining what it takes to, how much work you would necessarily have to put in. You don't necessarily have to guess which direction you need to go.
Once I made a mistake. I found your beach and looked everywhere for you. Sam. There you are.
You've become a baby. Also, my alternate theory was that Sam is actually Lou, and that's why the scarring is the same. But I could be horribly wrong about that one. And I've already seen this cutscene, but from over there.
I wanted to set you free from death once and for all.
Okay, so that's actually how she discovered Sam, because Sam, in his baby-ishness, had a nightmare, and that nightmare brought him to her beach. So she returned him from the beach to his body.
But in doing so, I upset the fundamental balance between life and death.
Or was Sam supposed to die? And she chose not to allow him to die, but to return him to the world.
I am an extinction entity. It's my fate to lead our species to extinction. But that moment, you became part of that fate. You became a repatriate, and dooms started spreading my nightmares to others throughout the world. It was me that got you and everyone with dooms into this. Not long after, the Death Stranding occurred. The dead clung to our world, and BTs used my beach to cross over and devour them, triggering more void outs. A catalyst that would set the world on a path to extinction.
Okay, so now I think I've got clarity as to what the Death Stranding actually was. What that event actually looked like. BTs crossed over, void outs happened, the world was torn asunder.
I chose to end it quickly. But to trigger the last stranding, I needed you, a part of me. Here too. I would be able to witness extinction consummated with you by my side. But now that you're here, there's another choice. You can cut me off. An EE doesn't have that option for itself. But in my nightmares, I saw another future. One that you chose. One where extinction is hope against total annihilation.
Oh, and that's essentially what the 5 figures are in the trailer for Death Stranding. Is each of the 5 figures is a previous extinction entity. Again, this combination of end credits and storyline is very odd. Like, it makes the whole ending very uncertain. Which I suppose that makes it effective? Faintly, I go. To take this head on. Soon I'll come around. Lost but never found. Waiting for my words. Seen but never heard. Buried underground. But I'll keep coming. I may like this song. But it's I think special appearances. Got Conan O'Brien, Edgar Wright, Jeff Knight Haley, Jordan Vogt-Robert. That's the guy's name. The director of Junji Ito was in here. Sam Lake. He must have been one of the hidden preppers, because I don't remember running into him. Let those tears are and make your heart proud. Soon I'll come around. Lost and never found. Waiting for my words, seen but never heard, buried underground. But I'll keep coming. I'll keep coming. I'll keep coming. Although this actually kind of, you can also say this is kind of reminiscent of some of the fake end credits from Metal Gear Solid 2. And I'll keep coming. Where it was all like fission mailed. I'll keep coming. So, most likely something different is going to happen once this song is over, if I had to guess. I'll keep coming. I'll keep coming. Nope. And this song makes for kind of like the perfect anthem for Sam Bridges, because regardless of how far he goes, regardless of how tired he gets, he always stands back up. He always keeps coming. Over the next ridge, over the next plateau, he will make the delivery. Produced and created by Hideo Kojima. All right. So, definitely we've gotten ourselves a bit of a plot dump. But we've got a lot more answers to a lot of the questions than I expected.
But it still has a role to play.
I'm sorry, folks, but good night for now.